Those sores would last for months. Antibiotics wouldn't cure them. No, nothing we put on them. The dermatologist couldn't stop them. So we have permitted discharges of pollution. Now, Larry covered this, so I'm going to run through this pretty quickly right here. And Larry and I both agree on one point, and Larry mentioned it already, that there are cities, towns, schools, churches, homes, and industry. Everybody's contributing, right? And we could talk, Larry and I could talk about this. We could go on after the wastewater treatment plants, we could go on after golf courses, we could go on after stormwater, we've done it all. But that's not the subject tonight. So I'm not going to concentrate on that. Larry has to concentrate on that. We're concentrating on the contribution of CAFOs. So CAFO pollution, where is it? Larry talked about this. I'm going to let this run so we don't run over in time. We have 700 million, well, close to 1 billion chickens now, 40 million turkeys, and on top of that, we've got the hog connection. And boy, is it a connection. According to this is the Smithfield Foods slaughterhouse, largest in the world. About 35,000 hogs a day slaughtered here. 35,000 a day. All right, the largest in the world. Well, did they make any money? Well, we took it 1 5-year period. We took a look. That's the net profit, not the gross, for a 5-year period. It goes down from here. I don't think it's ever going above that. It goes down. But the point here is that this is a very profitable company, one of the largest hog producers in the world. There are 10 million hogs in North Carolina, according to Dr. Mark Sopsey, and Larry went through this. Each hog produces 10 times the poop each day that a person does. That's what Dr. Mark Sopsey says. The industry says it's about 2.5 times. That's ridiculous. A pig goes from the size of my fist to 225 pounds or so in 5.5 months. It takes an infant child 15, 18 years to do that. But a pig goes imagine the food running through that animal, right? And all we're talking about now is what's coming out the backside. We're not talking about wash water, we're not talking about the urine, we're talking about the feces. That's exactly what we're talking about. So if you take a look at the hogs in eastern North Carolina and the amount of feces they're producing at 10 times to 1, which is what Dr. Sopsey stands behind, this is what you've got. The hogs in North Carolina are producing the fecal waste each and every day. It's the 8 million people in North Carolina, 33 million people in California. You can read the rest yourself. Now, throw in New Hampshire and North Dakota. And it's all being deposited, as Larry mentioned, right there. That's the coastal plain of North Carolina, the most environmentally sensitive area of the entire state. It's like portions that Larry and I came through in Arkansas, flat, high water table. It used to be underwater. It's been ditched to lower the water table so they can farm the land, right? Okay, that's it. Those are the outer banks of North Carolina, right here. Many of you may have visited these outer banks. This is a dam. When that waste comes into our river system, which comes down right here, it takes 2 weeks for the water to make its way 200 miles from Raleigh to Newbern. It takes 3 months for it to make its way to the outer banks, and it takes a whole year for the water from Raleigh to get out to the ocean. We are a bathtub, a lake. And if you've ever been, all of us have been in a bathtub at one point when we worked in the yard, and when you drain the tub, what do you end up with? A rain around tub. And what's happening here in the Neuse and other rivers in North Carolina, like the Alligator, the Chowan, the Roanoke, the Tarpon, the Neuse, these pollution from all these sources, but in particular this one, is settling out right in this area. And what does it look like? If you take a look at the hogs in North Carolina, this is just hogs. That is not chickens, that's not turkey, that's not cattle, that's just pigs. And if you strip away and look at the underlying water, that's what it looks like underneath. That's just the Neuse River Basin. Now you need to do these comparisons for the Buffalo River too. So if this industry is coming to your Buffalo River watershed, you need to take a look at it as we have in the news that we're showing you here. Okay, this is very interesting. There are different ways that this industry discharges. There's the barns, there's the lagoon, and of course they spray it over the land and it runs in the water. You're going to see pictures of that in just a minute, lots of pictures. And then it also gets in the groundwater. Now, in North Carolina, we don't have the rock you have, which is porous and allows the drainage to go through. So these guys, many of them have done, they put drain piles in the fields. These pipes, fairly large size pipes with holes in the top, French drains. And when the water comes down, well, water waste comes down, it gets in the pipe and it shoots right out to the ditch, and then the ditch goes to the river. As a matter of fact, in most every ditch in eastern North Carolina, if you started the ditch and you walk within an hour, you'd be water on your head, because they all go to the river. So we have French drains. You have rock. That's a natural French drain. And your video up front, the one you saw up front, talk about that. But what's interesting about this industry and its discharge is they depend upon the discharge of ammonia, which is a form of nitrogen, nutrient nitrogen, fertilizer. It's in a gas form. It's called ammonia. Of all the nitrogen produced by pigs, nitrogen fertilizer, as much as 80% is discharged through the air, not over the ground, and not through the groundwater, but through the air. It comes off the lagoons and the barns and spray fields. It goes up and anywhere from a few feet to maybe 50 miles or so. It's up in the air, and 100% comes back down to backyards, churchyards, rooftops, schools, churches, forests, rivers, streams, anywhere nature brings it down. But what we all know is water always makes its way down to the river. So we're getting it through the air, we're getting it through the groundwater, we're getting it over the surface. I'm going to move on. To hear Larry and I talk about the pollution of the Neuse River, you say, you guys are activists. You know, you come here, and how do we know that what you're telling us is the truth? Watch.
The toxic algae bloom that's spreading through area water.
We begin tonight on East North Carolina waters with the fish kill on the Neuse River.
That's the problem on North Carolina's river.
Eastern North Carolina is literally sinking under a flood of hog waste.
We're the shit through the United States. I mean,
Mr. Webb.
see a map somewhere and put a commode on North Carolina, and that's what you got.
Dozens of men and women brought rifles and guns to one Craven County spot to show their anger tonight. Sherry Johnson joins us now live from the scene of that protest. And Sherry, I imagine it's a bit tense out there. Why are the groups so upset?
That is true. It's definitely tense, Linda. Well, we're out here on Gray Road in Craven County where many protesters have gathered. They've been out here since 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now, they're angry because Ricky Cox, a hog farmer, has asked Craven County commissioners for an exemption. Now, we have Glenn Buck. He's one of the protesters, and he joins us now live. Now, Glenn, tell us a little bit, why the weapons? Why the guns?
Well, we need to make a statement. Surely, these people have pushed us to the limit and we're back in a corner. And we don't know which way to turn. We don't know what to do. We're taking it one day at a time. We feel like if they want to present themselves as a good neighbor, then we're presenting ourselves as the welcome wagon.
There's about 35 people out here. You've been out here since about 3. What do you have to accomplish?
Leave us alone. We just want to be left alone. We do not want Joe Thomas and Company and the Pork Producers Association or the Livestock Association of Craven County to dictate to us what we need in our neighborhoods. We have had enough. Enough is enough. Our waters are polluted, our rivers are polluted, our streams are polluted, our neighborhood is polluted, and will be further polluted, and we feel like, how much more can we take?
I'd like to mention that Waterkeeper and none of us in the environmental movement had anything to do with that demonstration. Violence begets violence, and that's a very dangerous thing to do. But these people were farmers, and they were local folks from the town, just like folks you'll find anywhere in Arkansas. You know, these are people who, before the swine industry